Welcome to Wellness Quarters, where wellness lives. My name is Gayle Nowak. I'm your host, Wellness for All expert leader, and communications and emotional wellness coach. The Wellness Universe is thrilled to bring you this inspiring interview series with our members as part of our Wellness for All program. We bring experiences like this to you because we believe happy, healthy, and healed humans lead to peace globally. Join us here on the second Tuesday of each month at 5 p.m. Eastern and the fourth Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern for a 15-minute session filled with insightful interviews and practical wellness tips from top professionals in the wellness universe. Whether you're seeking inspiration or actionable advice to enhance your well-being, Wellness Quarters is your go-to destination for support on your journey to a healthier, happier life. This pay what you can donation-based program is supported by generous viewers like you. If you'd like to donate, you can do that now, after we're done, or anytime in the future using the link that I'll put in the chat. And a special thanks to everyone who's already donated. Also, if you'd like to reach out to me about the show, I'll share my contact details in the chat as well. At the end of the show, you'll see a pop-up to leave a rating and review. We're so grateful for yours because it helps Wellness Quarters reach more people seeking tools and practices to optimize their well-being. Today, we're speaking with Laura DiFranco about Bodyful decisions. Laura is the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, an award-winning publisher for holistic health, wellness, and business professionals with a mission to help the world experience what's possible. She's a 13-time best-selling author, blogger, inspirational speaker, and spoken word poet. Welcome, Laura.
Oh, there I am. Hello. Hi,
Hey,
Gayle. Thank you so
hello.
much for having me. I'm excited to talk about this topic. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into it too. And I'd love if you could share, before we kind of dive deep into this topic, a personal story about a moment that you may have had in your life when perhaps you listened to the wisdom of your body and what the outcome of doing that was for you.
There, I mean, when you said that earlier, like think of a personal story before we started today, I'm like, wow, which one am I going to pick? Because I feel like my entire life has been this practice. And I was not so good at it in my 20s. I was not great at it, but getting better in my 30s. As I got older, my body started to talk to me in louder ways. So, like, hey, Laura, if you're not going to make a decision about this, I'm going to start to make this more than a whisper. I'm going to start to give you some chest pains and see if you're going to pay attention to me at this point. And that personal story really is about me deciding to ask for a divorce. And I was too afraid. I was too afraid I would wreck my kids. I was too afraid of the financial repercussions. Oh my gosh, I was just full of fear. Yet my
Sure.
body was like, And that was like the day I'm like, all right, I got you. I'm listening.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I'm hearing two different things here. That our body's going to talk to us even if we're not listening. we're we're still going to get signals from our body. And it sounds like from your story that ultimately you ended up listening. So I kind of get the sense that we can actually be conscious about this too and sort of learn the language that our body is speaking to us. Does that sound true to you?
Well, let me shift to the far other end of this spectrum of goodness. Because when you are listening at a deep level, moment by moment, to what the universe is telling you, giving you those special magical messages, and you feel lit up inside, you have absolutely no doubt about the decision. You can feel it inside of you. I started with a rough story because at some point I had to be woken up to what was going on. And I love the universe for doing that to me, even though it kind of sucked at the time, you know. But
Right.
over time, I really feel like I've become a much better listener, and now the magic is right in front of me every single day if I keep practicing that. And yeah, you have to be conscious of that. It's body awareness, but it's also listening to the thoughts that are moving through your mind and all the rest of it.
Yeah, that makes so much sense that, you would have the opportunity to kind of decode what what your body is really trying to communicate with you when you're being attuned to it, and you're being intentional about kind of coming back into your body. I don't know if you've had this experience, but I know for me and for a lot of people that I've worked with and colleagues, we tend to live from the neck up. I'm a very thought-based, kind of naturally thought-based person. And I remember having an experience. So it was actually chakra dancing, which I had never done before, and like really feeling my body, and having like that awakening moment of, oh my gosh, I have a body. Like I feel my body, and different circumstances, but kind of a similar wake up call of like, wow, there's so much wisdom and communication here, and learning how to do that to help make decisions. So let's talk a little bit more about that and the role that your body can play in making decisions. And my sense is that it probably is a little bit different for everyone, but can you explain how we can tune into those physical sensations as part of the process?
Well, I came upon an exercise once upon a time, and decoding. Yes, I liked that word that you used. And essentially, it was, grab your notebook and draw a line straight down the middle. Make yourself two columns. And at the top of the left column, you're going to put a heck yes. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. And on the right, it's going to be a hell no. Okay, you got your yes and your no in the two columns. And that first time I did that exercise, I was asked to describe what a yes felt like in me. And so I started to do descriptive words down the left hand side of that notebook: light, warm, nimble. Posture is tall and ready. I felt strong in the yes. It felt fluttery and buzzy in my body, right? And so the idea was to describe the body awareness, like in literal descriptive words. The no, on the other hand, that list was easier for me: tight, constricted, cold, posture shriveled. I could literally map out what my body was doing when something was no good for me and when something was a yes, like I could make that decision, right? And then the big trick was when something came along in my life and I was asked the question, asked to make the decision, and I thought to myself, I don't know. I feel confused. I'm not sure
Mhm.
how to decide this. So, the biggest aha I've ever had about that is it is not a yes when you're feeling like that. So, in the moment of confusion, fogginess, I don't know, this is confusing, I can't make a decision. Guess what? That's not a yes. It feels different than that. And this discernment of both the columns, but also that gray area in the middle, this is a game changer. And then you just have
Mhm.
to practice and trust when you feel it.
I love that you shared that exercise, and how you discovered that, and also that you brought up the piece about not knowing. We know very clearly when it's a yes. It might be slightly different than what you experience it, but or what you explained, and we just know, like, it's kind of an instant thing, and we just know when it's definitely a no. And I struggled so much with the, well, maybe. And I think that for some of us who are really curious and love to have experiences, that discernment. I work with human design with clients sometimes, and there's something in human design, if you're familiar with it, and people listening, about about your authority, and one of the authorities is emotional authority. And in that gray area, it's not so much about making the decision in that maybe not phase. It's actually giving yourself the time to get to that yes or no. So I love that you brought that up, because sometimes the maybe is really a no. Sometimes the maybe is a yes, but there might be some fears, or there might be some other things sort of, our ego maybe getting into the the decision making process and making it a little muddy. So I'm so glad that you brought that up.
There could be a not right now.
Not right now, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's so beautiful to have a process to help us tune in, so that we're coming from our soul alignment versus our mind or external pressures. Like that, there may be information from the externals, or from our mind, that need to factor in, and yet our soul might want to bring us somewhere where we're not, probably someplace better than what we can imagine in our mind, right?
Always.
Yeah. So how do you differentiate? I'm having trouble talking today. How can you differentiate between when you're making a decision from your soul, and maybe making a decision from, a place of fear or pressure?
Well, that's why that list, when I did it at first, helped me so much. And I encourage everybody to make their own list. Your words are going to be what matter to you. My language matters to me. I made myself a cheat sheet. And every time I felt something good for my yes column, something different, that a different way my message would come through, I would add it to my list, so that if I ever was curious about the yes and the no, I could always look back and say, oh, yeah, there's a little pattern happening there with this no. And I just need to pay attention. But I mean, this to me is a very easy answer. It is either good feeling or not. And I know there's a lot of gray area in there, but we do a lot of things out of I should, I have to, obligation, and duty. None of that ever feels like a yes. It always feels tighter to me when I
Yeah.
am making a decision that is a yes, but it's out of obligation, even to my own work, which is tough because we struggle with those kinds of decisions every day. Oh, I have to do this. I should. Well, no, really? Do you have to? No, you don't have to. You can set a boundary today to protect your health, mental and physical. And, I'm not telling people it's easy to make those decisions when you have to say no, but it really is pretty simple. You can feel it or not. And didn't happen overnight. This took me a few decades, y'all, to get to this place where I was listening at a level that I could use at any moment. And that's the mastery of it. We never master it. We're going to be practicing this, and it'll be the most difficult decisions in our lives that will be triggered again into, oh, well, maybe it's a yes. I don't know. And you find yourself back in that pattern. And there it is. If we could just wake up to it, it's right there.
Yeah, beautiful. And I'm just looking at the comments as you're sharing. Jeanette says, "Preach, preach about obligations and shoulds." Yeah, and Anna says, "You're so encouraging." And you know, the fact that it's a practice, that it's something that we can do in our businesses, in our lives, in any area of our lives, and that it's something that it's not a one and done. Maybe we make a decision. What I'm hearing from you is maybe we make a decision and it is a yes. but we can keep tuning into that as we go along. Things are going to shift as we're doing whatever it is that we're doing, either in our business, in our lives. We evolve, we grow, and so things are going to shift. And to be able to really take this practice of bodyful decisions to help us navigate that journey, especially, heart-based entrepreneurs and spirit-led entrepreneurs, we're more in that flow already, and we know that things are going to grow and change and evolve. And this is such a beautiful practice to allow us to do that. So we're already at the end of our show. I can't believe it. I love this conversation, this topic. For anyone who's listening, those who are here with us live, if they want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Oh, thank you. I mean, come on over to my site over at the Wellness Universe, first of all. And thank you to Anna Pereira for everything she does for us members at the Wellness Universe. But I'm also at bravehealer.com, and I would love to offer you guys a little gift today. You can get access to the Brave Healer Resources Vault. That's for all my healer, author, entrepreneurs. And there's tons of free training and masterclass access in the vault, you guys. So come reach out. We can have a chat about publishing your book or body awareness or whatever the heck you want to talk about.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And those links are in the chat. So please connect with Laura. Thank you so much for sharing time and space and energy with us today. And thanks to everyone who's joining us live, everyone watching the replay. We'd love to see you for our next show on Wednesday, February 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern with Dr. Pamela J. Pine for our conversation on preventing child abuse. Until then, be well, everyone.